I thought I'd bring back a proper green screen background today, just for fun. It already looks horrible, I could tell, but this is how we're going to do it today, and I don't care, because I actually like it a little bit, even though it looks horrible. Hello everyone, welcome back to Zuck TV. My name is Adam, and today, we have finally reached the start of the Bundesliga season, and that means Bayern Munich is back on the pitch. Now, I'm going to preface by saying I know they've already played in the Super Cup, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But this is the first day of Bundesliga action, and they are taking on RB Leipzig in match day 1. So already a pretty exciting match to start with. This video will just be a brief preview of the season to come for Bayern Munich. That includes signings, departures, as well as what competitions they'll be competing in this year, and as well as some news regarding the kits. And obviously, if you are a Bayern Munich fan, you know what's happening with that. I'm going to start with some notable signings that they brought in over the summer. Now, yes, they've brought in signings prior to the Club World Cup and as well as after, but these are my two notable signings. Obviously, they've made more, but these are them. We're going to start with Luis Diaz. He's come from Liverpool. They spent 70 million euros on him. This is all in part of what's happened elsewhere with the wingers, which we'll get to in just a bit. But Luis Diaz had one of the most productive seasons last year with Liverpool. 13 goals, 7 assists in 36 Premier League games. Obviously really benefited off of Ernie Slot, and now he's come to Bayern and he's already done pretty well considering he's only played one proper match, which was in the Super Cup, which we'll get to like I said, later. Now the other notable signing is Jonathan Tah. Now, he was signed before the Club World Cup, but they allowed him to play in the competition. So obviously he's a prior Club World Cup, but he's only 29 years old, and they only got him for 2 million euros, which is really good in my opinion. Tah was actually pursued by Bayern last year, if you remember. But what happened was Bayern Munich didn't want to extend his contract past this season. But now they went and got him, have him on a deal until 2029. So I think Bayern's pretty happy with that, and he kind of solidifies that center back position for Bayern that has dealt with many injuries over the last couple of years and has kind of hurt them in major games. And of course, Tah was a part of Bayer Leverkusen's team that won the Bundesliga just a few years ago. Now to some departures, and now this is where the Luis Diaz signing comes in handy. You've lost a couple of wingers, but most notably, Thomas Müller. If you're a Bayern fan, this one stung when you heard the news that he was not coming back and they were not going to give him a new contract. But for me, as a Canadian, it was really cool to actually see him sign with the Vancouver Whitecaps in the MLS. Now, yes, a lot of European fans have their opinion on the MLS and what it's become. I thought it was just super cool that he came to Canada altogether. But nonetheless, Thomas Müller won 34 trophies with the team over his tenure with Bayern Munich, which is absolutely insane. One of the most prominent figures in German soccer, just all together. I do believe Bayern will miss him. I think he was a massive leader in that room, and without his leadership and without, you know, his humor to light up the room, which we've all seen before, I think that will leave a massive hole in the team that will need to be filled in some place. Next is Kingsley Coman, and if you look at the big picture of his time with Bayern Munich, you know, it doesn't seem that bad. He won the Bundesliga 9 times. The only year he didn't win it was, well, the first year that Harry Kane, at the time, who was trophyless, joined the team. Other than that, Kingsley Coman, one of the most important goals in Bayern history, which was the Champions League winning goal back in 2020 against PSG. But as time went on with Kingsley Coman, injuries stacked up, coaching changes happened, and over the last year with Vincent Kompany, he was mostly just coming off the bench. And I think he saw it as a change. He needed a change. So he's gone to Al Nassr in the Saudi League for 25 million euros. So still a good amount for Bayern to get back for him. But he'll have a lot more playing time there than he had with Bayern, especially last season. Now, finally on my list is Leroy Sané, who's actually gone to Galatasaray on a free transfer. And if you're asking why did he go for free if he's a pretty decent player, it's because Bayern wanted to extend his contract and they wanted to give him a new 3-year deal. And what happened was he did not like the money associated with the term. And Galatasaray kind of came around and said, look, we'll give you 3 plus more money. And that was it, basically. You know, they brought out the fishing rod with the worm on it, and he was the fish, and he caught on to that. Leroy Sané's time with Bayern was kind of similar-ish to Kingsley Coman. You know, he'd flip-flop games. He was on the bench for a couple, then he was starting for a couple. Some injuries here and there. But one thing that I noticed specifically watching him was he was kind of brought in to intensify the goal scoring a bit. And yes, he did score a lot of good goals for Bayern and great goals for Bayern. But I don't think that the team liked where his production was, especially over the last couple of years. So at the start of the season, Bayern will be playing in at least 4 competitions. And it all started last week with the Franz Beckenbauer Super Cup, in which they beat Stuttgart, as the aforementioned Luis Diaz getting on the score sheet in that game, and Harry Kane getting on the score sheet as well, getting his second trophy. It's a good start for Bayern, and I think that's important to start the year like that. And then you get on into the Bundesliga. Obviously, their first match day is today, and Bayern fans will know that runs until the end of May. It seems like, once again, and we all know it, and a lot of Bundesliga fans know it, Bayern Munich is the favorite. Even though they lost a couple of key pieces over the summer and over the last couple of years, they still seem to be the team to beat. Next on the list is the DFB Pokal. Now, Bayern Munich, by playing in the Club World Cup, kind of get a little bit of a brace in the first round of the DFB Pokal. A lot of teams have been playing over the last couple of weekends their first round games, but Bayern will be playing their first round match against Wieheim Wiesbaden, I hope I got that right, on August 27th. And finally on that list is the UEFA Champions League. Obviously at this point, we don't know all the teams that are in the tournament. We know most of the teams that are in the tournament, and with the new system that they had starting last year, I think it worked out really well, considering what some people thought it would turn out to be. So we don't even know who Bayern's technically going to be playing, but we will know who they will be playing in a couple of weeks. And actually, I will do a reaction video to their schedule. But anyways, they won't start playing games in the Champions League until mid-September. So there's still a bit of time to learn all the information about that. All right, finally, this one has to be spoken about. Some of the biggest news that Bayern had over the offseason were the kits. Once again, I don't know how, but Adidas has, in my opinion, dropped the ball again on a home kit. And I consider the home kit for almost any football club in the world to be the most important kit. And if you have a horrible kit, that doesn't look good for your club at all. And now, even though this one I'm wearing today isn't a fan favorite either, people still consider it the last good one they had. Obviously, the year after this one, they had that barcode. And then the year after, they went to that white home kit, which I found a bit weird, even though it kind of was a throwback to a long time ago. And then you had last season, which was red and black, and they couldn't even wear it in the Champions League because of the color clash on the kit. So they had to wear their alternate kit in every Champions League game. And then you go to this year. The home kit in this one, when I first read about this, the description was it's an M. And I was like, oh, cool, that's probably gonna look all right. That might look kind of cool. But then you see how the M is formed on the kit. I don't understand how they looked at that and said, I like that. That looks really cool. This just looks clunky. This looks janky. One of the funniest comments I read about it is the Santa beard around the neck, which I found really funny. It just doesn't look good at all. And a lot of people online literally just said, if you just remove the white off that front of that kit, it actually looks like a decent kit. Now, yes, it would probably be a bit blandish, but it actually looks kind of decent, and I actually agreed when I saw it myself. Now, for the away and the third kit, I actually kind of like the away kit. Obviously, some people have their opinion on it as well, but when they played in it in the Club World Cup, and when they played in it in the final home game of the season last year, I actually liked how it looked on the field. Now, yes, the collar's a bit retro looking, going back to the 2006 template, which Adidas has tried to bring back. But I actually like how it looks. I think it looks pretty interesting. And for a away kit, it's white. I don't mind it. Now, the third kit, they've gone with this black kind of German Munich kind of-ish, a Oktoberfest style. They have an actual Oktoberfest kit that will be coming out, but this one kind of looks like that with the green and the red and the black, and especially with the old crest. I actually really do kind of like that old crest, especially on the third. I don't mind it there. So that's kind of my opinion on the kits this year. Obviously, the home kit, almost no one enjoys it. No one really likes it. If you do, let me know in the comments. It's been a long time since they've come out with a decent home kit in many people's opinions, including mine. So we'll just have to wait another year, basically. So there you have it, my season preview for Bayern Munich. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think about this season? Where do you think they're going to finish in each competition? And as well, hop on the chat with the kids, because obviously many Bayern fans have opinions about that. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.